Some weeks move like honey, slow and golden. Others tumble forward, pulled by the wind and weather. This one had both, a quiet stretch of rhythm and surprise. So come walk with me through this little corner of off-grid life in Australia, where the parsley's blooming, the poppies have opened, and the hens have a new home. This week we mulched the last of the trees. The woodchips, we picked them up from town and we're spreading them thick around the roots, like a blanket before summer heat sets in. The parsley's gone to flower now, green giving way to bloom, crowned by clusters of white lace. The ants love it. Big, determined ones crawling all over, gathering nectar, doing their mysterious work. In permaculture, woodchips are more than just mulch. They're part of succession, nature's slow march toward forest. Today I'm spending some time gathering calendula seeds from our garden, letting the petals go to seed so we can scatter them further next season. After harvest, I cut the plants right back, cutting all the dead parts of the plant off, and I took them to the compost pile to rest and return. I'm putting all my calendula seeds in this brown paper bag that I've got, but it's such a windy day that my bag keeps blowing away. I ended up having to put my heavy glass water bottle in the bag to try and keep it from blowing away. Sometimes I'll just scatter the seeds around the place and not put them in the brown paper bag so they'll regrow where they are. But I've noticed that the calendula seeds are just popping up everywhere on their own anyway. They're self-sowing. Some types of calendula can become a little bit invasive, so if you don't want more of them, just deadhead them before the petals start to turn into little seeds. We've got a volunteer parsley seedling popping up here under the tree as well. If the calendula seeds are not dry enough, I'll leave them on the plant for a little bit longer and I'll come back and get them another day. I've got so many more to go. My mum bought us 2 more chicken coops. We're separating the chooks, trying our hand at breeding each type properly. The 3 white Sussex will move out first. They say that a rooster needs at least 5 hens. It took us a few days to put this new pen together, but it's stronger than the bigger one that we originally bought. After a full day of working on collecting all the calendula seeds, look at this bag full that I've got. I think this bag's about halfway full. I've got a massive amount of seeds there. And here's all the dead calendula plants in the compost bin, ready to make new soil. The daikon radish seed pods are finally drying out a bit, but the reason I'm coming out here is to harvest this fennel. This one's for dinner tonight. We're having rolled roast and baked vegetables, half from our garden. A good earthy meal. This one comes up easy. I really love the taste of the fennel leaves through salads and things like that. I'm not too fond of it roasted whole. Can you let me know in the comments below, what's your favourite way of having fennel? We got our chicken coops from Bunnings. They're stronger than the last one and they're bigger than I expected as well. So if you're thinking of one, I'd recommend this one from Bunnings. I can put the link for it below in the comments. I put the roast dinner into the barbecue to cook and we had a cup of tea, an afternoon tea break. Truffles had a snooze in her broken bed, and our first poppies open up like whispers, thin silken petals in the wind, their stems trembling but proud. The next day was extremely windy. Our scarlet runner beans are flowering now. They're brilliant red against the green vine, and nasturtiums everywhere. like summer laughter frozen in colour. Unfortunately, we suddenly run out of rainwater from our tank again, the second time since we've been living here, and we had to order a truck in full of water to pump into our tank. It's a humbling thing running out of water. It makes you count every drop that you use. I bought 2 copper top viburnums for a spot out the front of the shed. Hopefully they'll do well. By the dam, the ducks are back. I could watch them for hours, slipping across the surface, dipping under and reappearing like shadows. We finally finished the second coop, but we still needed to add some aviary mesh to the bottom because the quolls always try to find a way of getting in. The aviary mesh didn't come with the coop, so we had to get that separately. We laid some loosened straw on the floor and added a nesting box with clean wood shavings, roosts for sleeping, and seed and water. We'll keep them in their cage for a week or two, let them settle in and get used to their space before we open up their gate to free range. The storms have started again, and most afternoons the sky starts to darken around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But this thunderless lightning cloud that goes across our sky now sometimes is just really strange. Out in my circular garden bed, things are starting to wake up. The lettuce are coming along, their leaves are soft and pale green. The cornflowers are just about to bloom, tight buds on tall stems ready to burst. And the tomatoes are stretching towards the sun. The nasturtiums trail down the edge like spilled paint. Orange, yellow, peach. I planted rosemary and bergamot in that garden bed too. And I've got more seedlings hardening off, yarrow, zinnias, peppers, chilies, more nasturtiums and some celery. Paul's still working on his shed. I help where I can, holding up panels and passing tools, and he's just completed or just about to complete the 3rd wall up on his shed now. He's doing well, slow and sure. We bought this property 4 years ago now, and there's been quiet progress. It might not look much to anyone else, but out here, a seed sprouting, a coop built, a storm rolling past without damage. That's everything. That's the life we've chosen, and most days I'd choose it again. These small days filled with small tasks, they build a life, one step at a time. I hope wherever you are, something is blooming, something is thriving, and something is teaching you. We also created a frog pond. We went to a workshop at the spring fair run by Janet about how to create frog ponds in your property to attract the wildlife, and so that's what we've done, and there's a little frog that's already living in there. I finally got around to transplanting the zinnias out into the flower bed. Their roots were ready, long and reaching, and I tucked them into the composted soil and watered them in. Flowers belong in a food forest, not just for beauty, though that helps, but they call in the bees, the hoverflies, the lacewings. They bring pollination, balance, and a soft kind of order. They feed the eyes, the soul, and the soil. I guess the other thing that I heard is that if you make your garden beautiful, then you'll want to be out there more often tending to it. We still wake to the occasional foggy, misty morning The kind that makes everything look like it belongs in a dream. The air smells of damp soil and flowering herbs. The galangal has started to come into its own again, and so has the oregano, thick with new green. Our cos lettuce is also thriving, bright and crisp. The sugar snap peas are ready now. Their pods are hanging heavy, sweet and full. We normally go over to the vine and pick off some as we're wandering around in the garden. The linaria northern lights are blooming wildly. There's beautiful pink, purple, soft lemon and white. They look like brushstrokes, a perfect plant for a cottage garden. I cleaned up a couple of the raised beds today. The old bunching onions had gone to seed and had grown tough, so I pulled them out and scattered the seeds under the new mulch, hoping they'll return soon. And I did the same with the coriander, cut it back and let the seeds fall. Sometimes that's the best way. The pumpkin's doing well. I just tossed the seeds over there. And here's Paul under the old mower again, trying to coax it back to life. It looks like the zinnia and also the jasmine are settling in after I transplanted them. I'm just going to pick a few of our lettuce leaves for lunch. It's the kind of harvest that happens in a moment but feeds more than hunger. The leaves that have gone too far are too old, yellowed or chewed by the bugs. They go to the chickens, so nothing is wasted. The daikon radish seed pods are finally drying. I pinch them gently to see if they rattle. That's when you know. So we pick them now, gather them into a paper bag. These will be scattered later in tough spots, places where the soil is stubborn and tight. Daikon is good for that. It dives deep and breaks things open. The storms keep coming. Night storms now. Flickers of lightning across the sky, no real thunder, just light passing over the shed like a silent conversation. After all these years, this garden, this food forest, it's finally starting to pay off.